All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to get into a lesson concerning the mark of the beast, the MOTB, which is the micro C-HEP. That chip, that's the mark. And this system that's coming about is all set up for these people, to become acclimated, and assimilated into their digital system. And you have these terms such as 15-minute cities, palm payments, and all this different forms of digital transactions. Hell, even now, you ain't gotta go to you just go to a Blockbuster or a movie gallery or something. You go get you some movies. The only thing you gotta do, your TV got the internet on it. You go and buy you a damn movie off the TV. Everything has become digital. And this system is coming about. And this is a global thing, that term, New World Order. Exactly what it is. That was trying to bring the world under subjection by the way of this digital system. So I got 2 articles to show that, concerning this prophecy. With this prophecy, you can't get wrong. There's no mulligans. You finally realized the mark of the beast was the chip, but you already got it. It's too late now, man. There's a penalty for taking it. That's why it's so stressed. Starting with the apostles, elders, Great Millstone down concerning this prophecy. So this is from CIO Africa. And it reads, electronic payments mandated for specific transactions in Tanzania. It says any person who makes or receives payment in respect of a transaction listed in the schedule must do so through electronic means. And okay, let's read this little part. It said specific transactions. It said the directive applies to a broad range of payments made for goods and services. These including fees, charges, levies, tolls, and fares for public transport service, such as bus rapid transit system, ferries, bridges, long-distance passenger buses, online tax service, air travel, railway, transport, and parking. It also covered payments for goods and services purchased in shopping malls, gymnasiums, seminar theaters, filling stations, conference and event venues, sports arenas, and international trade exhibits such as Saba and Nine. It said the scope extends to fees and contributions for educational service offered by primary, and secondary schools, as well as tertiary institutions and universities. In addition, it includes payments for accommodation, food, and beverages at hotels, restaurants, and cafes, as well as tourism-related services. See, it's pretty much saying it's every damn thing instead of, when you really digging into it. It says the list payments further cover the renting, sale, or purchase of buildings, plots, and farms together with the seller purchase of motor vehicles. And that's how this shit is today. You really can't get into shit. You really can't have shit. You got to at least have a bank account, card. Even though you can pay with cash and all that, you got the cash right now. Yet they need to make sure you got a bank account. Well, as you can see with concerning Tanzania with these and them niggas just going in, it's pretty much saying really there's every aspect of your life is gonna require a digital transaction. From concerning like travel, as well as you just going for you just want to go to the mall and shit. You want to go watch the soccer game. They in Tanzania. You want to go watch the soccer game. But you gotta it's gonna have to take a digital transaction. As a matter of fact, let's go to the next article, because just going back, it's a global thing. Now, this is from the Manila Times, and it reads: Go files bill to mandate digital payments in Philippine government. So it says Senator Bongo has filed Senate Bill 2330, or the proposed act adopting and regulating the use of digital payment systems, the government financial transactions, and all merchants. It said the bill seeks to improve public service delivery, strengthen transparency, reduce reliance on cash, and promote financial inclusion through digital technology. And I believe that's even in the previous article we read concerning to the I didn't read it, but they was going into to ease the reliance on cash. Yep. It says, let's read this part. It said the measure is intended to promote the use of digital payment systems, improve transparency in commercial transactions, strengthen financial inclusion, and reduce reliance on cash-based payments across key sectors of the economy. It's like these niggas copy and pasted this, man. How they said it. But as you can see, even that's now becoming common. That word mandate. It ain't no coincidence that that jab, the information on that jab is coming out. Because these devils, depending on what region you was in or company you worked for, whatever the case may be, it was mandatory. It was compulsory. As them niggas come up with some, you don't familiar with the word mandatory. The niggas start saying compulsory to throw you off, not knowing that's really the same word, but how these devils, they're cunning. But they saying they're gonna that mandate, digital payments. That's where we at, man. So matter of fact, let's start off with this in the book of Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Because scripture speaks on the things that are written aforetime, written for our learning. That patience come from the scripture, we might have hope. So these things, these events, these records in the scripture, they actually help. Things that's recorded, they actually help. But it wasn't meant for it to be in these modern times where it's now a cartoon. It's a coloring book now. No, ultimately these events is going to play out again on a greater scale. So, it was an astral event. That was an example of what the Lord was going to do in this time. So this is Daniel 3, and I just started at 1. It reads, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the king that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. So as you can see, everyone within that government was at one concerning, the golden image being set up. And you see that today, even with, America, you got the bipartisan system. Them niggas, they have their disagreements. But when it comes to this right here, concerning, really bringing forth this agenda, this digital system, they all in on it. These presidents all have contributed to that step forward in their plans. You had the Bushes to goddamn Obama, Biden, just naming the recent ones. These laws and legislation they have set up really that contributed to them bringing forth that system. Why you see this nigga Trump wearing that purple tie, as well as even concerning globally, you have these nations there. They have their differences as well, but concerning a digital currency, they all in on a CBDC. All these countries down there got it, from the allies to the enemies of America. Because Russia dealing with the digital currency, China, of course. So they show you that this is not just a regional, this is a global thing that they were trying to bring forth. But you see back then how that government was all in on it. They was at one with it. It says, then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And how that's going to play out this time, when that damn news station, when CNN cut on, they play that intro music, and nigga tell you right there and there that what's up. And it said, and you see the key word, to you this commanded. Matter of fact, let's see if we can get that in the blue letter. Let me see what that word commanded. Bear with me. Amar. Speak command. Let's see what take command to boast, act proudly. Demand. What's the scripture talk about too? He cause of all, and you go into that word cause, it pretty much goes into a commandment, even a demand. See, it's not a suggestion. Ultimately, even how they framed the crown in the jail, they framed it as it's not a suggestion. Because let's just say you didn't do it. These nigga you know, try to blackball you, put you in a bad light. Fucking families have been broken up on if they're gonna take the jab or not. Nigga, respect the 6 feet rule and come out and see all that shit was bullshit. But it's gonna get a time where, live rounds, man. And if you don't take that thing, ain't like you gonna still be able to go on the grocery store and slide nigga a couple of dollars on the counter. That money ain't gonna be worth nothing. As we just read in the 2 articles concerning their reliance on cash, they trying to get rid of that. So it's not a suggestion. That why I said is to you is commanded. As when you hear that Fox News first turn on, that nigga tell you gotta go get that chip to continue in this system. It says, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And as you die, of course, from the extreme, the nigga got a guillotine, kill you. But even in that, being X'd out the system, you ain't gonna be able to go to work and stay in your house for long. If you got bills and shit, you ain't gonna be able to continue in this system without that thing, man. And it's going to be mandatory. It's going to be mandatory. And ultimately, you can see that chip, that mark, is becoming clearer and clearer, man. That's how we know we at the end of this system. Matter of fact, what's that? 2 Ezra 9. 2 Ezra 9. In verse 5, it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And we know at the end because really that's the last prophecy for the destruction, man. The mark of the beast. Our temptation coming about. The end is manifest because that's the last step before the destruction. You can read that in what's that St. Matthew the 24th chapter talks about immediately after the tribulation, then shall the sun be darkened. Because in that time of that troublous time, was we in that time, it's gonna get more intense. Well, no one had to tell you if it's day outside. Nobody had to tell you it's sunny. It's gonna be obvious. It's gonna be clear and obvious of what it is. So that's why I said the end is made manifest. It's clear. So when that chip come, that time of trouble, because they're gonna come with it. In the time of tribulation, that chip is gonna that's gonna come with it. That's gonna be the so-called false sense of hope, that false relief. He gonna present that as the way out. For you to get destroyed 3 weeks later, or however long the Lord have the chip mandated, the end of destruction is going to come. That's why it says immediately after that. So however long the Lord see fit for this devil to mandate that thing, yeah, What the script said, he's gonna rain upon him while he's in. He's gonna rain on his parade. Nigga really thought he crossed the finish line and dropped the ball at the one. That's what the Lord gonna cause him to do. This is Revelation 3:10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So we seeing that it is coming upon our world. To what now we actually seeing the word mandate being thrown around comfortably, and it's in the same sentence with digital payments. So that's what we at in this process. That's what we just hope the Lord keep us. Seeing how important possessing the words of Yahweh Shai. Because look, what's the result? The Lord, He said He's going to keep us from the hour of temptation, man. Scripture said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. From the food shortage, and it might be hot, it might be cold, whatever that time, state, you in the flesh, fucked up the power out. The Lord gonna make some shake though, man. But for others, they're gonna see that chip as the solution. But at the end of the day, that prophecy of the mark of the beast, the MOTB, is that micro C hip, and we're seeing that prophecy is about to blossom into its perfection, to where soon this devil's gonna, put it into law where you're gonna have to receive that device to continue within this society, man. And it's becoming clearer and clearer as we get closer to the perfect day. So yeah, I hope this will edify. Let it give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and this teaching word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.